Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, you're recording me?
Hey guys, welcome to Jasco Goods. It's Valentine's this month. So in honor of that, I got these two lovebirds on the signs, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make these two different style hearts, and you don't need a jigsaw to make them. Minimal tools. You can make them with a butter knife. Okay, not a butter knife, but you can make them with minimum tools. Well, at least not a jigsaw or a bandsaw. I'm gonna show you how to do that. Plus, I'll show you a couple different things you can do with these hearts. And I'm gonna show you guys how to make this really cool jewelry holder that you hang on the wall. It's the new style, new trend. It's the way people wanna hang their jewelry on the wall for some reason now. No more in the boxes like they used to. So I'm gonna show you how to make that with a bunch of hooks and all that stuff. It makes a perfect gift, perfect to sell right now. Or, I mean, and they sell all year round, really, but you'll be really surprised at how much they sell for. I'm gonna give mine to my daughter, and you guys can see how she reacts. I'm gonna record it and hopefully she likes it. So enough talking, let's get to building. I'll start with the chunky little 2x2 heart, but this is the same way I made the 1x2 heart also. And I'm gonna use this scrap piece of 2x2 to make it. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is round over the corners of the 2x2. You're gonna want it to be shaped like a popsicle stick. Now I know what some people are gonna say is, well, if I don't have a miter saw or a jigsaw, what makes you think I got one of these big fancy sanders? Well, you could do this also with an orbital sander, like a handheld orbital sander. You can do it with sandpaper if you're tenacious enough. Heck, you could rub it on the ground for all I care, hanging out the window while you're driving down the road. Then you want to make a line about 3/4 from the top of the circle you just made. Then cut that off on your miter saw or a hand saw or a circular saw, whatever you got, a butter knife. Make it happen, Captain. Then take that circle that you just made, that you just cut off, and trace it onto the 2x2 that you have left over. Then slowly grind it down like my job does to my soul. Okay, so now you got your two pieces you just rounded over. You want to put this piece against this one and bring it down just a little bit till it looks right. Just eyeball it. You want to get like that J-Lo vibe going on. Then you make a line right here. Then cut it at that line with your favorite cutting method, whatever that may be. Then you just put a little glue on here, spread it around. I do this so I don't get any squeeze out at the top, because when you get squeeze out at the top between the cheeks, it's hard to wipe in there. Then I just clamp it like so. Boom. Bam, heart. So for this bigger heart, I'm gonna use a 2x4. Let me show you the dimensions. So for this one, we're gonna make a line at 5.5 inches. Then put your miter saw at 45 degrees. And then just cut that end off. Okay, so it's been a year since I've done this, and I told you, I said to mark your 5.5, but now I rechecked my cut. I'm a little bit shy. I must have cut too much off. So I'm just gonna adjust and move it up a little bit. So maybe cut your 45, measure up 5.5 inches, and then transfer your line to the front and cut it, rather than do it the way I just said. And then cut that piece at that line. So I like the grain on this side better, so I'm gonna flip this one so the good grain and the good grain are on the same side. If you don't care about the grain or yours looks good on both sides, then don't worry about that. And then cut you another 45. Okay, then match your two sides up. I messed up. When I cut the second one, I was on 50 degrees, not 45. So let me recut this out of 45. Now match your two sides up and then make yourself a line. Or you can measure 5.5 inches again. And you probably could have guessed this, but now you're gonna cut it at that line. Okay, now you should have two pieces shaped like the state of Nevada.
Nevada? That's right.
Now, if it's easier for you, you can use like a cup or something and help you to figure out what a circle looks like. Now, if you want, you can cut some of this off with some kind of saw, whatever kind of saw you want. But I'm gonna use my sander for the whole thing. It's actually pretty quick, and I only have 150 grit on here. In my jumbled opinion, it's much easier to do this stuff on a disc sander than on a bandsaw or a jigsaw. Now we just glue these two halves together. Then I'll let this dry for a few hours, and then I'll come back and stain it. While it's drying, maybe I'll work out, maybe I'll run a mile or something. I can't even say that, sorry. I'm gonna probably eat a pizza. So the hearts are dry, and this is how they look. Now, you can stain it just like it is. And then what my wife uses them for is bookends. They make really great bookends. You could just put it on a shelf like it is. With these small ones, you can stack them in different ways. Glue them together like that if you want. And put them on the shelf like that. Or you can make a bookend out of these. Some of the first stuff I ever made for Etsy, I used hearts like this. This was actually the first sale I ever made on Etsy. These 3 hearts right here. I called it Heart on Stick. Another thing you could do, what I'm gonna do with this one, is make it into a pedestal. So I got a couple different size pedestal feet. I got these ones, which I believe are too high. You let me know in the comments what you think. I think these are too high. I'm gonna use these different ones. Does that seem too high, or is that just right? And then I have these smaller ones. These are actually doll heads. I got them from Walmart. I think that's a better size. For a dowel this size, I'm just gonna cut my own. They have this little wood section in Walmart, and they have a pack of wood dowels. It's all these different sizes. They're like 10 inches, and you just cut your own. I'll leave a link to them in the description if you guys are interested. The last time I made a pedestal, I did a round one a couple videos ago, and I did 4 feet. Well, a lot of people pointed out in the comments that 3 feet would have been better because 4, you can be unlevel and uneven, and your pedestal can rock. With only 3 feet, you don't have to worry about that. Now, I just kept it simple, and I stained this pedestal with a barn red stain. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Then I got these little packs of lights off of Amazon. They're really small, and I wrapped them around the legs and put them under the heart. What do you guys think? Now I'm going to take some scrap wood and I'm going to make it into this really cool jewelry holder that's usually trending this time of year because of Valentine's Day, but also like Mother's Day, and actually it sells all year, but it's just trending right now, so it's really popular around this time of year. I want to just interject that a lot of these fitness channels are always talking about the bad parts of being overweight, but you could see me right here. I'm wearing shorts because I could barely feel my legs anymore. I think that's a plus, that you can wear shorts in the winter. I don't need to buy all them pants like everybody else. For my jewelry holder, I'm using a 1x10 that's 17 inches long by 9 inches. It's actually 9 inches even though it's a 1x10. And I'm also using 2 1x4s that are also 17 inches long. And then this cork board that I got off of Amazon. I like to sand everything down before I assemble it. It just makes it easier. I'm all about making it easier. Okay, so this is basically how this is going to be laid out, and then I got to cut my cork down to size. I'm going to try to cut it on the table saw. I've never done it before, but I looked it up and Google said you can do it. So one issue I have that I have to trim my 1x10 down a little bit. The top of my 1x10 isn't square, so if I square this board up, there's a gap. I just used my table saw and cut off like a 1/16 just to square it up a little bit. So for the bottom shelf, I'm gonna have the bottom of the shelf 2 inches from the bottom of the whole unit, whatever you wanna call it. Then I made a line on the back so I knew where to put my screws. Okay, so I'm gonna glue and nail the top shelf on. I got a bad edge on here. I wanna make sure that's the part that's gonna be glued down. You'll never see it, it'll be between there. I just use glue and nail to hold the top shelf on. I don't think I need much more than that. You're just putting small stuff up on there. If you want to do dowels or something like that, be my guest, or some screws. Unless you got some big Mr. T chains you're going to hang off this thing. Couldn't figure out why no nails were coming out of the gun. I could see the nails in there, but then they slid out and fell on the floor because I didn't have the clip pushed in all the way. My nails clipped in. Son of a bitch, man. I put a little bit of glue on the back of the shelf, and then I used my combination square to get it in place, flipped it over, put a few brad nails in it, and then finished it off with some screws. Okay, so now I just got to cut down the cork so it fits in between there. I was a little nervous about cutting this cork on the table saw, not for injury or anything like that. I just thought the saw blade would just tear it up like a Nature Valley bar. But it actually came out pretty smooth, like a milkshake. Sorry, I know everything's food. Okay, so I should be able to just peel the backing off of this and stick it on. Now I got this cork off of Amazon. It was about $9. You could probably find it cheaper. I had a hard time finding a roll in 1/2 inch. It was all 1/4 inch. Some people in the review said that it didn't stick very well. I wasn't worried about that because I figured I'd just put glue, but it actually sticks really good. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it fits pretty good. You can see there's no gap on this side. When I come to this side, there's a bit of a gap. I think some of that is because this wood is a little bit bowed, so I'm not worried about it. I don't think anybody would notice that. If you have a gap like that, something you're worried about, you could always scribe it, put another piece of wood like this, then pin nail it or something, you know, and nobody would be the wiser. It might even look a little better. Who knows? What do you guys think? Now I'm staining mine before I put all the hooks and the hardware on it because obviously it's going to be a lot easier to do it now. I'm using my go-to stain, Provincial. because I am making this for my daughter, so I know she likes this color, and I want to surprise her, so I didn't want to ask her. I just went ahead and used it, so hopefully she likes it. Now, I never stained cork before, and honestly, I wasn't even sure you can do it. I never had seen anybody do it before, but I looked it up, and everything said you can do it, so I gave it a try. So here's a couple tips for you if you do it. The cork is like a sponge. It really sucks up the stain, so you have to keep applying it and keep dabbing it in your can, and then you want to make sure that you get it even, and it's really hard because of the way it sucks in the stain. Also, when you're wiping it back off, you got to make sure you keep even pressure. Otherwise, where your fingers are, like if you have more pressure in them areas, it'll have streaks in it. Also, I ran out of my signature black gloves that I usually use to stain everything with. Luckily, I have a home enema kit and I could steal the blue ones out of there. All in all, I think it came out pretty good. I got most of the streaks out of the cork, and I think it looks pretty good. After I let it dry for a day or so, I did a top coat on everything but the cork. Henceforth, why I have the blue tape on there. And the top coat I chose was this water-based polyurethane in a matte finish. Once everything dried, I was ready to install my hooks. First thing I did was lay out where I was going to make all the holes for the hooks. I used this ruler on here, and every inch I used my caul to make a little notch where I'm going to drill the hole for the hooks. But for the bottom hooks, all I had was the 3/4 inch edge of the wood. So I'm just going to mark all of them with a pencil, then go back and use my caul, then go back and drill them all out. As you can imagine, installing all the hooks was incredibly tedious and boring. When I was doing it, I tried to start them facing the position I wanted them to end in. And sometimes it worked and other times it didn't. So sometimes I would have to over twist it and almost like sink it into the wood a little bit. So it's going to take a little bit of practice for you. After installing about 10 of them, my fingers started to get sore. So here's a tip you guys can use if you install these. You can use a screwdriver like I'm doing right here, or you can put some masking tape on some pliers. That actually worked the best. It was much easier to turn these. I was going to use these keyhole hangers to mount this onto the wall. I don't normally use these because of how shallow they are. And when you have a standard wall anchor, the head usually looks like this and it won't fit in there. There's not enough clearance. So you have to use either a really small anchor or figure something else out. So I found this kit of hyper tough anchor and screws. And if you look, the biggest one, see how flat the head is, the shape of the head? So now this one will slide inside of here. So I'm gonna use these to hang it on the wall. Long story short. I'm gonna put these hangers 16 inches apart, and if I can, I'm gonna put them both into a stud when I hang this. I'm gonna put this brass rod, and it's gonna be sticking up out of the top. Then I'm gonna use these 1/2 inch brass hooks to secure it. Each hook is gonna be 1 inch from the edge. So I wanted to use 1/4 inch brass rod, but the thickest I could find was 1/8. Couldn't find the caps to put on the end to keep it from sliding out of the hooks. So I figured I have to crimp it into the hooks. The hooks I have are 1/2 inch. So when I try to crimp this one, it touches itself. It touches itself way before it crimps this thing. So I have to cut some of it off, make it a smaller hoop, and then try to get it to clamp in there. I think I'm still gonna look for the ends, but this should hold it temporarily. If anybody knows where to get the ends or to find thicker rod, let me know. I looked on Amazon and I looked on Home Depot and Lowe's and even Michael's and stuff like that, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So let me know what you guys think. How did it get out of there and fly across the room? Okay, so that worked. I'm still gonna try to find some caps to put on the end of these. And another thing is I may add one to the middle because see, it's a little bit saggy. That's why I wanted a 1/4 inch rather than a 1/8 inch rod, but I had to make do with what I could find. So I could always change it out, just take these off, put bigger ones or not bigger, but don't even cut them down and get the 1/4 inch ones. First, I'm gonna show it to my wife because she likes everything I make. You ready?
That's so pretty. It looks so good.
The only thing is, see how this is loose?
Oh, it's not good. That might be a good thing, because what if something happens and you have to get it out, take it out to get your jewelry or something's wrong with a clasp or...
You like it?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Okay, now I gotta show Sammy.
Oh, stop.
You wanna see what I made you?
Sure.
Ready? You know what it is?
It's for jewelry.
Yeah. I made it for you.
Made for me?
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, you're recording me? I was all crazy. Oh, it's a cork board. Yeah.
And you put your earrings in it.
I love it. And you put stuff on the top. And I can hang it on the wall. Yeah. Do you like the brown? Because we couldn't decide whether brown or no, I like brown. That's what I thought.
Well, bam. What do you guys think? Here's how it looks once you get all your jewelry on it. You can fit a lot more than this, but this is a good start. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.